Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm fantastic. Donna Maddock of Mold, Wales, found her picture flashed all over the world when a police video camera caught her on the interstate, or on the highway, A499 there, putting on makeup. She was cruising along at about 32 miles an hour with a brush in one hand and a compact in another, no hands on the wheel.
Oh.
She was fined the equivalent of $350 US. A police spokesperson says, "A car is a dangerous lump of metal in the wrong hands." I've seen people do dumb things while driving.
I have too, many times.
Be careful. Police in Haifa, Israel, are searching for a thief who broke into a factory and stole 100 tons of chocolate spread. They suspect it was an inside job. The alarm was deactivated. The surveillance videos were taken. Missing chocolate is enough to fill 5 large trucks. That is a lot of chocolate spread. It's out there somewhere.
I wonder what in the world they're going to do with that.
Sell it somewhere, I guess, or eat it all. But it's a delicious heist right there. We've got some special things going on this Thursday. We'll tell you all about that in a bit.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Thursday, June the 30th. Today is National Bomb Pop Day. Remember those things?
I do remember
Bomb pops?
those.
I think there was one called like an Astro Pop, and those are darn good. Anyway, it's also National Handshake Day. Hey, put her there, Heidi. You won't shake my hand? Okay. Oh, thank you.
There you go.
Very much. That was nice. That was a very firm handshake. You should be proud of that handshake.
I have a good handshake.
It is also National Now Day, which stands for National Organization for Women. So it's National Organization for Women Day, if I read that correctly. Sounds kind of weird. It is also National Social Media Day. I'm going to celebrate by goofing around on Facebook all day.
Almost always celebrating that, like every day.
I think it's one of my favorite things to celebrate. I'm going to celebrate that while eating a bomb pop and shaking hands with people. Get out there and do it. It's Thursday, the 30th day of June.
Whether you're an experienced shooter or someone new to self-defense, Front Sight Firearms Training Institute has a course for you. You may recognize Front Sight from their reality TV show filmed at this private range 45 minutes west of Las Vegas. A Diamond Lifetime membership is $15,000, but we have a special price of just $3,000 available now only at radiosavings.com. This lifetime membership allows you to take over 50 courses as often as you'd like at Front Sight Firearms Training Institute. Get this deal right now at radiosavings.com.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. Imagine having a major heart surgery and then while being rushed to a different hospital, your ambulance driver gets lost. Wouldn't that stink?
That would just be awful.
A Scottish patient.
You don't think about things like that, but it can happen.
Yeah, a Scottish patient recovering from a major heart surgery was being transported from one hospital to another hospital, and I'm assuming that it was maybe like he was somewhere on vacation or whatever, and then he was going like to his home hospital. I'm not sure why. Or maybe it was a specialty hospital.
I don't know, but at least he was in recovery and it wasn't like in the crisis mode of the situation.
He didn't arrive to the other hospital, which wasn't that far away, but he didn't get there for 4 hours. Because the ambulance driver had become hopelessly lost. The ambulance only arrived finally at the other correct hospital when the recovering patient came to and became aware that the ambulance was going the wrong direction. He guided the driver to the correct hospital. In all, the ambulance traveled more than 200 miles. Scotland is not a very big place. 200 miles. Isn't that like from one side of the country to the other?
It's a huge distance in
that
country.
It's a long way. So here's the one thing that I will say. There are many flaws that I have because I'm not a perfect person by any means. But one of the flaws that I don't have, if I'm lost, I will stop and ask for directions. I am not too proud to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm lost, I'll be the first one to say, let's just stop and find out. I don't even know where we are. Nowadays, that doesn't happen as much because we use GPS. But I remember not too long ago, we were traveling in a place where there was no GPS. I mean, even the satellites didn't know where we were.
See, and I'm usually the one going, we'll find it.
Yeah.
We'll find it. We don't need to ask.
We're kind of the opposite of what most couples are.
We are.
So. She programs the remote controls. I'm I'm going to let you do that.
I don't know why I tend to.
You like doing that stuff. She's got a bunch of guns. I have mine too, but I'm just saying it's an interesting relationship. But this dude got hopelessly lost, and you know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs.
We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
and this is your brain on drugs. Granbury, Texas is where we're going to head. Thomas Parsons was so angry because his friends were arrested on drug possession charges. The longer he thought about it, Heidi, the madder and madder he got. Finally, he thought, I'm going to do something about it. He drove down to the city hall to give the police chief a piece of his mind.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That's when the trouble started. First, when he attempted to park, he drove over the curb, breaking the sprinkler system, destroying several bushes in the process. Then he entered the building, and he was making such a fuss, they thought, I think you need a breathalyzer test. Guess what? He was drunk. And when they went out to impound his car, they found marijuana and drug paraphernalia. So now
what an idiot.
his friends
Now
who
he
were
can join
arrested
them.
on drug possession charges have a new roommate. So this guy's not that smart. Kids, that's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
28-year-old Albert Hoffmuller had tables turned on him when he tried to rob a taxi driver in Germany. This is one of my favorite stories ever. The cabbie reversed roles and, in fact, held Albert up.
Oh.
He took his wallet. So he was trying to take his wallet. He pulled out a knife. This guy pulls out a gun and says, no, I'm sorry. I want your wallet.
Oh, my gosh.
Amazingly, Albert, the one who was trying to rob the cab, called the police. They found the cab driver and dispatched to headquarters. The driver still had Albert's wallet, but when he explained exactly what happened and said, I kept this for identification purposes only, everything is still in there, your officers. I didn't take anything. Al's wallet was returned to him. No charges were pressed against the driver, but Al, the guy that tried robbing the taxi, is the one that was arrested. So
That's fantastic.
yeah, that wasn't very
Where was
smart.
that?
That happened in Germany. So there you go. Coming up, we have your scoop of the day. That is on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. According to a survey, 33% of Americans have dated someone who turned out to be a, quote, creep.
Oh,
That's not
well,
good.
I would say it's higher than 33%.
35% have dated someone who ended up being, quote, a jerk. And 18% have even dated someone who turned out to be a witch.
A witch.
Yeah. Overall, according to the survey, 21% describe being involved in a dating experience that turned out to be just plain toxic. So, sounds like not everybody has it as good as we do, baby. I mean, you're not a witch, and you're not a jerk. Why do you keep pointing at me, though? Hey, a new study finds that while dog lovers love to hug their canine companions, dogs generally do not like to be hugged, and they'll often show signs of stress when they're being hugged.
Our dogs love to be hugged.
They do, absolutely.
Actually, no, they don't.
They show signs of stress, don't
Yeah,
they?
Mandy's squirming, trying to get away.
A new study finds 1 minute of all-out exercise may yield the same benefits as 45 minutes of moderate exercise. So, do you have a minute a day?
The 1 minute workout.
I'm thinking we need to make a video of that. The 1 minute workout. And, if you can do it all in 1 minute, why not, right?
Yeah.
All right. Moving right along here, we have... What are you doing over there? Keep your finger off that button.
I'm waiting.
You're making me nervous is what you're doing. Nivea, the German-based body products company, has announced a new product called Nose. It's a mobile phone cover that works as an electronic nose when paired with their app. A man, wondering if he stinks or not, can activate the app and put the smartphone near his armpit. The electronic nose then picks up the smell and evaluates how stinky you are based on algorithm.
Way.
4,000 cents have been loaded into this to tell them just how much they stink. The app sniffs out the level of stench and sends a user a notification telling them just how much they stink. Here's my question.
If you can't tell that about yourself, why would you?
If you think you stink, you probably stink.
Right.
just saying. I don't know. That's
go
kind of
clean yourself.
An estimated 250,000 people in the U.S. are married to a partner who's a second cousin or closer. I thought you looked familiar. Yeah, we're not related, are we?
No.
No, I don't think so. Although, I kind of wonder once in a while some of the things that your family does and some of the things that my family does. Here's your latest global warming scare. CBS News is reporting that sea levels will be up by 4 feet by the year 2214. That's far enough in the future.
None of us will be around to be able to see it.
Far enough in the future. I think every estimate every guess that I do in the future is going to be, for something that's going to be far after we're dead.
5,000 years from now.
Yeah, and I'm going to be correct. You just wait and see.
Whatever.
Well, modern cars are getting lighter. Drivers are not. America's fuel economy is feeling the weight as well. Allstate blog says that obese Americans are wasting more than 1 billion gallons of fuel every year. The Department of Energy says an extra 100 pounds lowers a vehicle's mile per gallon by up to 2%, Heidi. Automakers are using less steel and lighter plastics to reach higher fuel standards, but more than a third of adults are obese, and that number is expected to increase. So they're saying we can make the cars lighter, but could you help us out a bit? Sorry. And finally, sometimes when you just have to take a vacation from the news, a recent study confirms what we've all known. Bad news stresses us out. It's worse for women, though. Reading depressing news affects both men and women, but somehow women hold on to this stress much longer than men do. On the other hand, men probably shake off the stress by forgetting the stories faster. Women tend to remember the details of bad news far longer than men. I would also say, even good news, women remember the details because there are stories that I share on here that I think are really funny. And then I share them again like 2 weeks later, and Heidi says, we just read that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, we did?
All the time.
Did we share any of the stories that I shared today in the past?
I don't think so.
All right. They're just wondering, because some of those did sound a little familiar.
John and Heidi.
This has been quite an election so far, and we've got a long ways to go. Stay informed at politicalstorm.com. It's a cool site with political news and information on the campaigns, plus a place to chime in and have a say in what you think. If you're into politics, you need to check out politicalstorm.com. Get informed from several different sources all in one place. Listen to podcasts like mine and learn about current election topics, read fun editorials, and engage your brain. It's your country. It's your vote. It's your voice. Politicalstorm.com. That's politicalstorm.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for taking a few minutes to listen to the John and Heidi Show today. We've got a guest joining us from the YMCA. We have Jorge Perez. Jorge, how are you, sir?
I'm doing fine, John.
How long have you been with the YMCA?
I have worked for the YMCA for nearly 24 years.
And what is your official position there at the YMCA?
I have the pleasure of being the Vice President of Programs and the Y Experience.
And now that sounds like a really fun thing. And you've got locations all over the United States, don't you?
Yes, we do. We have 2,700 locations all over the country and in the most remote places you can think of.
So this time of year, you guys kind of turn your attention to really fun summer events. What are some of the fun things that happen with YMCAs around the country in the summer?
Yeah, in fact, during the summer months, we almost double in size in terms of staff. And we turn on the best summer ever experience. We have summer camp, and we have a summer learning loss prevention program. We provide summer food for kids who are in need of meals during the summer months. And, of course, we provide all sorts of aquatic related programs, including safety around water.
And these are really important things when you talk to kids. Quite often, if you discuss that with them about maybe where they learned how to swim, or some of the things that they're involved in, a lot of the time it goes back to their early childhood days, and maybe right around the swimming pool there at the local YMCA.
That is exactly right. There's rare is the time that I run into even adults when they find out I work at the YMCA, where they don't say, "Hey, that's where I learned to swim, where I played youth sports, where I went on a hike, when I rode my first horse," and on and on and on. And the YMCA wants to continue to develop the next generation of young people by really focusing on their social, emotional, cognitive, and physical development, because we believe learning does not stop just because kids are on vacation.
Now, the neat thing is there are programs that the YMCA has to help kids retain things they learned during the school year over the summertime. How do you guys do that?
Yeah, so we have some programs that are particularly focused on kids who experience what we call the summer slide. That is, they're not doing enough enriching activities and may actually be behind academically because of that. And so our Summer Learning Loss Prevention Program is a partnership with Bell, an organization out of Boston, where we focus in on providing for kindergartens to 8th graders literacy, math, the arts, health, and we're in 48 states, and the intention there is to give them a great summertime experience. This isn't summer school. This is more like summer camp with a whole lot of intentional learning built into that experience.
So it's more summer fun than summer school.
That's correct.
And I think most kids can appreciate that and really enjoy that. Now, in addition to educational enrichment, the Y is known for their camp and swimming programs. Now, how do these resources help kids reach their potential and make them have the best summer they could ever have?
Well, when kids come to YMCA programs, they're all designed to encourage what we call achievement, belonging, and relationship. And that is, we want them to learn something new every single day they come to our programs, that they get connected with other kids their age, that they establish healthy and loving relationships is going to be something that they will benefit from their entire lives. And then obviously get connected to the YMCA, that they feel like there's an organization that really cares for them and loves them. And researchers tell us that what that does is build something that is known as grit, which will serve them well when they take their first algebra class and they're struggling through that. And their experience at a rock climbing wall adventure or learning to swim across the deep end of the pool is what's going to keep them in that seat tackling that algebra challenge during the school year.
Again, visiting right now with Jorge Perez with the YMCA. He's a senior VP, and we're visiting with him right now. He kind of helps with things all around the country, but if I want to get information on the local YMCA in my area, where do I go to get all that information?
That's a great question. If you are familiar, first of all, with the YMCA in any way, shape, or form, after school, youth sports, reach out to them. They'll be able to help you. But if you don't know us, you can go to our website at ymca.net. There's a place where you could type in your zip code, and the computer will direct you to your nearest YMCA. And if you give us a call, I'm sure the staff there will be happy to help you create the best summer ever for your children.
Jorge, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Again, Jorge Perez with the YMCA, and that local, or the website rather, to find your local YMCA is ymca.net. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Do you buy lottery tickets? Maybe you wait till the jackpot is big, then you buy one. I was like that too. Like my odds got better because the jackpot was more. Well, I think I found something that actually will give me a better chance to win. It's called Lotto-licious. I learned about this from Richard Lustig. He literally wrote the book on how to win the lottery, and he should know. He's a 7-time lottery game grand prize winner. Richard plays and endorses Lotto-licious, and I just signed up too. I'd love it if you join Richard and I. You can play Powerball and Mega Millions without even going to the store. Sign up right now at RadioLottoPool.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Oh, hey, it's over here.
Couldn't find your info?
A canton is the blue field behind the stars in the U.S. flag. I didn't know that's what that was called.
I didn't know that either.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The cap on a fire hydrant is called a bonnet. I didn't know that either. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
This little thing right here, this lump of flesh just forward of your ear's canal,
Yeah.
right next to your temple. Do you know what this thing is called?
No.
It's called a tragus or tragus.
Okay.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
An ear of corn is more than 80% water. I think the other 20% must be ethanol. I'm not sure.
I love
Corn is
on the
delicious.
cob.
And another fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Over 50% of the weddings in the United States occur in the afternoon. So I was thinking of that. Most weddings that I've been to have been in the afternoon. It says over 50%. I've never been to a morning wedding. I've never been to a middle.
evening weddings.
I've never been to a middle of the night wedding, although they happen in Vegas a lot.
But evening weddings are a lot, and then you go right to a reception.
There you go. Well, a couple of fun facts for you on a Thursday.
Whether you're an experienced shooter or someone new to self-defense, Front Sight Firearms Training Institute has a course for you. You may recognize Front Sight from their reality TV show filmed at this private range 45 minutes west of Las Vegas. A diamond lifetime membership is $15,000, but we have a special price of just $3,000 available now only at radiosavings.com. This lifetime membership allows you to take over 50 courses as often as you'd like at Front Sight Firearms Training Institute. Get this deal right now at radiosavings.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. Email obsessities. Are you obsessed with email? Do you know?
No.
Do you know anyone that is?
I hardly ever check my email. In fact,
I know this. I just have. conversation with somebody. We were trying to figure out what was going on for the 4th of July, and I said, do you guys send an email? She goes, yeah, you should be on the list. I'm like, I don't think I get them. And she goes, oh, I send those to Heidi at... I'm like, yeah, there's your problem. Discovered the problem instantly. Send them to John. Heidi.
John's watching me check my email, and I'm just checking all those little boxes. I didn't even open most of them. I'm checking all those little boxes to delete. He's like, you're going to delete all those? I was like, yeah.
Do you want to look at them at least? I mean, half of those looked pretty darn important. So don't ever send Heidi an email. Just send it to me. According to AOL, I didn't even know those guys were still around, but they are. They say our love affair with email may be a tad out of control. Survey found that New Yorkers are number one in the country when it comes to being addicted to email. 46% of the nation is hooked on email. 55% of New Yorkers. The average New Yorker has 2.7 email accounts. They check their personal email 4 times a day. The 5 most addicted cities are number 1, New York, number 2, Houston, number 3, Chicago, number 4, Detroit, number 5, San Francisco.
And John Small.
And clearly number 6 is me all on my own. The 2.7 email accounts. I have 17.
I know, you're insane. That's why.
And I check my email. Well, I checked it 4 times during this story alone. I'm just saying. It's not quite that bad.
It's bad. You can't do anything.
All of my
email.
emails now funnel into one account, which is really pretty cool. So that one just gets checked over and over. But for some reason, some of them don't push the email in there for like an hour. So
do you know how to move things to your spam box?
Yeah.
Do you do that?
No. Why would I do that? Where do you check your email? The survey found 67% check email in bed, 59% in the bathroom, 50% while driving. That's dangerous. Don't do that.
You've done that.
39% check the email at the bar. I've done that. 25% while on a date.
You've done all of these.
And 15% check email while they're in church. I did that once too. I'm sorry. I was going for my Bible.
Checked it in church?
I didn't mean to. I was going for my Bible app, and an email popped up. So I opened the email just to close it, but I had a guy catch me, open the email, and I look at him, and I'm like, I'm just getting my Bible app.
Shame
really.
on you.
I know. I felt bad about it. But hey, I just confessed, so that's okay. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.
Hey, this is Tim from Hope and Faith Machine Works. Are you having one of these days?
How in the world am I going to do that?
Or even,
if I could just have this, my life would be so much easier.
Well, this kind of stuff is my specialty. At Hope and Faith Machine Works, we work with anyone who needs something built, fabricated, or just done right. We've done medical, industrial, PLC, and prototype designs. You can reach us at yourhopeourfaith.com. That's yourhopeourfaith.com.
You ever know anybody with more than one middle name?
Yes.
That's pretty common in some places, pretty uncommon in other places. Most of us have 3 names, like Heidi Lee Small. I'm John Edward Small. I know. How awesome is that? Not very. I always thought it'd be fun to go by J. Edward Small. Doesn't that sound like...
Sounds prestigious.
J. Edward.
Yeah.
I just don't live up to that name. I can't do that. Somebody out there has 12. Yeah, 12. How in the world is this even possible? Question was, to a German court, they applied to have this name, and the court restricted her to 3 first names. The Supreme Court later overruled the lower court, saying she could have 4 first names for her son. A maximum of 5 first names was set. German local registrars have the authority to reject names considered improper or libel. This kid's name, or the one that she wanted to name him, was Chenawahu Migasaka Nikapawa Ha Nizo Alessandro Majam Chayalara, a whole bunch of other stuff I'm going to mispronounce. And what's the last name? Let's just move on to that. Henrico. There we go.
Yeah. Where are they from? Kentucky?
I don't think so. I think... Although that sounds like a Kentucky name, doesn't it? No, it does not. It sounds... I'm not
Idaho.
sure. Idaho? No, it's not from Idaho either. This was a German court, so believe it or not, they're from, I'm guessing, Germany?
Oh.
So, just
I
guessing.
thought maybe the Germans were just butting their noses in where it didn't belong.
All right, thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
People often paint their bedrooms their favorite color, and that's understandable, but you spend more time at work normally than you do in your bedroom, so why not paint your work area your favorite color?
Because it might not be your work area to paint.
I just imagine
you come
people
into work, your boss is like, what are you doing?
Showing up on a Monday, and you're like, what did you do to your cubicle over the weekend? And I painted it. Well, that's what one Cleveland, Ohio man has done. By the way, did I mention that he owns a gas station? He painted his entire gas station pink. Crazy? Maybe. But there's a pretty nifty side effect to his bizarre paint job. Increase in business. He used to sell 800 gallons of gas per day. Guess how much he's selling now?
Quite a bit more, I would assume.
4,000 gallons.
Wow.
Yeah, so he had a nice increase in business, an uptick by painting things pink. And now you know. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This has been quite an election so far, and we've got a long ways to go. Stay informed at politicalstorm.com. It's a cool site with political news and information on the campaigns, plus a place to chime in and have a say in what you think. If you're into politics, you need to check out politicalstorm.com. Get informed from several different sources all in one place. Listen to podcasts like mine and learn about current election topics, read fun editorials, and engage your brain. It's your country. It's your vote. It's your voice. Politicalstorm.com. That's politicalstorm.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. I get some fun emails from time to time, and this is a really fun one here. I thought this was just worth sharing. It says, my bride had me go out to pick up some bread and milk at the grocery store, so I get there to pick the stuff up. While I'm in the checkout lane, there's a woman in front of me paying and having difficulty finding change in her purse.
Yeah.
I've seen this done before. I live with Heidi.
I know I have trouble. My change pocket doesn't open wide enough, so I have a hard time digging it out of there.
Yeah, we'll go with that. So this lady started pulling everything out of her purse. She pulled out makeup, a garage door opener, a checkbook, a small action figure toy.
She couldn't even find where her change was.
No. It says, you name it, she had it. Then she took out a television remote. The cashier was just as impressed as I was and said, do you normally travel with your television remote? And that is when the lady said, no, but my husband refused to come shopping with me. So I figured this was a great way to get even.
That's fantastic.
Who knew going to the grocery
I'll have
store
to remember that.
could be so much fun. And you know what would happen if you did do that? I'd spend the entire time you're gone looking for the remote. And not even turn the channel on, whatever was watching, because I know how to do it. But I'm like, I'm going to find the remote. That's what that thing is for. So I'd be wandering around looking for the stupid remote when you're at the grocery store laughing your butt off. So have you ever done that? Have you ever taken like something from me and hidden it?
No.
Just because you could?
No, I have not. I haven't.
I think you've given away some clothing of mine.
I've given away some of your things.
And then my favorite thing is I'm like, do you know where my shirt is? This shirt, I love it. And you're like,
that I hated? You mean the one I hated? No,
and you're
I
like,
have no clue
I don't know where that is now. And what she means by I don't know where that is now is, I know where I dropped it off. But I have no
tell you where it is.
Have no clue where it is right this very
lying.
instant. I'm like, wait a minute. I figured out your means of what you're up to over there. All right, we've got some good news coming your way. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news, and I think this is good news. Jeff Foxworthy is one of the most famous men in America, but there's a side to this well-known comedian that few people have ever seen. 8 years ago, the Atlanta Mission asked him to lead a Bible study for the homeless men. 8 years ago, Foxworthy had never known any homeless people. He certainly had never had homeless friends, but Foxworthy went and he said it was an epiphany. He faced pain in his own life, but nothing like they were going through. Now, 8 years later, the group has grown from 12 men to over 200 with volunteers from around the world. Volunteers from around Atlanta showing up every week to help lead the men as they break into smaller groups. Jeff arrives at the mission before dawn each week in an insulated cooler filled to the top with Chick-fil-A biscuits. Jeff says, when you start learning somebody's story, they become human beings. And he goes and helps out. I had no clue that he did that. Did you know that?
I think that's fantastic.
I think so, too. I've always thought Jeff Foxworthy seemed like a neat guy.
Yeah.
Even if you don't like the whole redneck jokes.
Yeah, I'm not much of a fan
I think those are hilarious.
That whole thing.
I just do. I think those are... because
you know what? I used to be... I gotta... Let me correct myself. I used to be when it was something new.
Yeah.
Now it's like...
I just thought... I think it's so funny because it describes me perfectly most of the time.
Most of the time.
Like I clearly am a redneck.
If you have a working television on top of a broken television,
I've done that.
that was you.
Till I married you and you fixed me. What is the thing I've been saying? I am a brain dead mule.
Brain dead mule lost in the desert.
That's from what movie?
The change up.
Yeah, see, I got to get a shirt made, or at least write it on my hand so I remember how to say it. All right, time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. If you'd like to read that story about Mr. Foxworthy, I have it on our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.